Okay, if you're a fan of anything citrusy in flavor, then this simple orange loaf is a must try. It's soft, buttery, and packed with fresh orange flavor and finished with a zesty orange glaze that just adds the perfect little touch of sweetness. It's like the best way to brighten up your day. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 180°C or 350°F conventional and generously grease an 8x5 by 4.5 inch loaf tin. I'm using my homemade cake release to grease my tin. And then you also want to line the pan long ways with some parchment paper. This is just going to make it so much easier to take the loaf out once it's ready. Set your cake tin aside for now, and next we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 210 grams or 1 3/4 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 30 grams or 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Give that a good mix with a whisk until it's well combined and set it aside for now. Next, we're going to prepare our orange. So for this recipe in total, you're going to need about 2 oranges, but for the loaf itself, you're only going to need 1. So we're going to start off by zesting this orange first, and you're going to want about 1.5 tablespoons of orange zest, and add that to a large bowl, which we'll be using later on. Next, you want to remove the white pith of the orange, so that's just that kind of white layer on the outside, and you should be left with the flesh of the orange, and we're going to blend the flesh of the orange until it's nice and smooth. Just remember to remove any seeds before doing this if you need to. My orange didn't have any seeds, so I didn't need to remove any. Now you should be left with this beautiful orange pulp, which we're going to set aside to use later. Now you want to return to the large bowl that has the orange zest, and to it add in 170 grams or 3/4 cup of room temperature unsalted butter, 26 grams or 2 tablespoons of unflavoured vegetable oil, I use canola oil, and 200 grams or 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And then using a hand or stand mixer on a medium speed, cream that for 2 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Next, you want to add in 3 large room temperature eggs, 1 at a time on a low speed, mixing well in between each addition. You want to make sure that each egg is mixed in well before adding in the next. Now next you want to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of room temperature milk, and 110 grams or 1/2 cup of the blended orange that we prepared earlier. Now if you have some left over, you can totally drink it. It is honestly so delicious. And then you just want to mix that in on a low speed until it's well combined. The batter may look slightly curdled, but that's okay. Now you just want to get any of the batter off of the attachments, because the rest of the mixing we're going to be doing by hand. Now to finish off the batter, you want to add in your pre-sifted dry ingredients from earlier, and using a spatula, gently fold until just combined. You don't want to overmix the batter, so only mix until you can't see any more streaks of unmixed flour and the batter is uniform. The batter should also no longer be curdled. So that is our batter all done. It honestly has the most wonderful orange smell to it. And now you just want to pour this into our prepared pan from earlier. Now once all the batter is in, you just want to level out the top as best you can, and then just tap the cake pan lightly on the counter once to remove any large air bubbles. And now this is going to go into our preheated oven for 60 to 65 minutes, or until a skewer or thin knife inserted into the center comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs on it. So my orange loaf is all done now. It smells so good. It's been cooling in the tin for about 20 minutes just to give it a little bit of time to firm up. And now I'm just running a thin knife along the edges of the pan that don't have any parchment paper. And then I'm just using that, parchment paper that's hanging over the edges to lift the loaf out of the pan. And now you just want to let this orange loaf completely cool to room temperature, which should take about an hour or so, before we go ahead and put our orange glaze on top. So my orange loaf is completely cool now, and now I'm just going to transfer it to a serving plate, and then we are ready to make our orange glaze. So the orange glaze itself is super easy to make. You want to start off by adding 125 grams or 1 cup of powdered sugar to a small bowl, and to it add in 21 grams or 1.5 tablespoons of freshly squeezed orange juice, and then just mix that in until it's well combined and you have a nice thick glaze like this. And now you just want to spread the glaze out evenly over the top of the orange loaf. Now the glaze might seem quite thick initially, but it will slowly spread out. You just need to give it a little bit of time. Now to finish off, I like to grate a little bit of orange zest on the top just for a bit of extra deco, but this is totally optional. And then that is my beautiful orange loaf all done. This orange loaf is so soft and buttery. It has a wonderful texture and is packed with orange flavor. It's the perfect little pick-me-up when you're feeling like a little sweet treat. This orange loaf just has the most wonderful bright orange flavor to it. It's moist, it has a wonderful texture to it, and it's not too sweet, which means that, you can even have it for breakfast if, you're wanting a little sweet treat in the morning. So that is it for today, guys. If you do decide to give this gorgeous orange loaf a go, then please do leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content out, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.